these are all high risk category, and high risk category will take it as a stage 3. So after stratification, we go for either patient is transplant eligible or ineligible. So we draw this flow chart in each and every article, textbook. There are two flow chart whether patient is transplant eligible or non-eligible. Why it is divided? Because if it is eligible and we use those drugs where the patient bone marrow reserve is lost, so alkylating agents. So where patient is transplant eligible, we tend to avoid the alkylating agents like melphalan and all that, cyclophosphamide. So therefore this division is required upfront whether patient is going to for transplant in due course of time or not. So after that, induction, transplant, consolidation, maintenance, and then patient is in remission for some time, and we know that it is bound to have relapses at some point of time. Relapse 1, then give some treatment, goes into the remission or partial remission response. Relapse 2, then relapse 3, relapse 4, so on. So at the end there is a refractory disease. So this is a natural history of the multiple myeloma patients. So it means definitely they are found to have some resistance at some point of time. So this chart is showing that in the horizontal line we can see there is a number of regimen after transplant and there is a response rate. So after transplant, when there is a number of regimen number like first line, second line, third line, the number of line of therapy as it goes on, response rate is diminishing from 58 to then 45, then 30, then 15, and then ultimately no response. So as we use number of different lines of therapy, the response is going down. Why? Definitely because of resistance to that particular drug. So when should we start treatment for relapse? Patient comes to us with different maybe symptomatology or clinical progression or biochemical progression, like M spike is high or CRAB parameter is altering. So what are the criteria? So patient with clinical progression, /CRAB. So these are the two things where clearly they need treatment. If only biochemical progression is there, those patients may not need the immediate treatment. We can keep those under follow-up. As among those standard risk disease, we may have slow trend up to the need of the treatment. So these patients can be kept for observation and maybe for long also, till the time they have some clinical progression. So treatment indicated in high risk disease with any progression. It may be biochemical only. So therefore, I think in all myeloma patients, we should go for cytogenetics upfront only. Apart from bone marrow aspiration biopsy, cytogenetics needs to be done upfront, and that should be made mandatory sort of thing. So high risk disease with any progression and at the time of progression also, we should go for cytogenetics. So presentation with renal or neurological complication, treatment is required, or rapid doubling of M spike on serum electrophoresis. So these are 3-4 things where the treatment is recommended. So what are the principles in this scenario? Duration of initial response, first line of treatment, it defines the biology, whether it is good biology or bad biology. So triplet are preferred over doublet, usually in relapse setting, and at least one drug from a non-refractory class should be taken. So in triplet, 2 active class plus dexamethasone. So these are preferred over doublet. As you know that any patient comes, if treatment naive, so we tend to use sometimes doublet also. Patient old age, less affording, so we give sometimes Lendexa also rather than only PI or bortezomib. So bortezomib is a cost factor is there, admission 4 times injection in a month. So sometimes Lendexa also patient do very well, and after this we can switch over to triplet drug including bortezomib. Consider performance status, age, comorbidity when selecting drugs or doses. Take into account prior toxicity or residual toxicity of previous drugs, whether like bortezomib we have used earlier, and there might be residual peripheral neuropathy. So we have to be extra cautious. And with the lenalidomide, issue is that bone marrow suppression may be there for long, which may persist for long. We got today only one patient, that Ashutosh knows, Ram Sumir. So he has taken lenalidomide for 4 years, and he has persistent neutropenia and thrombocytopenia. His platelet count was 48. So I'm stuck what to start with in this low platelet count, low TLC count, because patient was becoming symptomatic. Lot of lytic lesion in the atlas vertebra and lot of other vertebra, and M spike was also high, kappa lambda chain was also high. So basically he needs to be given some active treatment immediately. But with the platelet of 48,000 TLC of 2,000, it was difficult. Anyway, so we have to treat to the maximum response, maintain on one drug until progression or intolerability. So these are the general principles which we should follow at the relapse setting. How do we select it? Prior drug exposure, refractory status, toxicity prior drug. These are all more or less same thing which we have discussed in the previous slide. Now we come to the treatment part. Early relapse. Early relapse, after maybe 1 or 2 line of the treatment. In the early relapse, first we discuss not refractory to bortezomib. We know that there are 2 drugs which are used upfront most commonly, bortezomib and lenalidomide. So we can divide the treatment planning in relapse setting. If we have to write a question also, answer also for this question, we should divide like not refractory to bortezomib, and then refractory to lenalidomide, refractory to both. In this way we can divide the treatment part. So first part is those patients who are not refractory to bortezomib. It means they were given only lenalidomide, or maybe they were given melphalan sometimes because it is very cheap. Thalidomide, Thaldexa. Thaldexa was an old age regime we have used around 10-12 years back. But nowadays thalidomide is practically out of question. But yeah, poor patient still can use the thalidomide. So where the patients are not refractory to bortezomib, so there are 4 these trials we should remember by heart: Castor trial, Endeavor, Panorama, Eloquent. So these 4 trials are for those patients where they are not refractory to bortezomib. Therefore, in all of these trials, they have taken control arm is bortezomib. VD is Velcade. Velcade was the original name for bortezomib. Velcade Dexa, Velcade Dexa, Velcade Dexa, Velcade Dexa. In all these 4 trials, this was the control arm, and the experimental arm in Castor trial was daratumumab along with Veldexa. K stands for Kyprolis, means carfilzomib versus bortezomib. Here P stands for pomalidomide, so along with Veldexa. E stands for elotuzumab. So elotuzumab along with Veldexa. So these were the 4 trials, and if we go in detail for all these 4 trials, they are all favoring the triplet drug. In the sense that if we see the Endeavor update, Veldexa versus carfilzomib Dexa, more or less long-term data if we see, at least over here they are showing good response, but long-term data if we see a latest update of Endeavor trial, I think not much outcome, not much difference between KD versus Veldexa. However, all the other 3 trials where they have used triplet in long-term also, later update of all these Castor update, Panorama, Eloquent, so they are all showing the favorable response. Maximum response is with daratumumab. So daratumumab is the wonder drug, as we can see after 2-3 lines. So this drug needs to be added. Only problem is that this is very costly. So very few patients are affording this daratumumab. Comes with Darzalex. So good drug. So Darzalex with Veldexa, 83% overall response rate. Very high response rate. And PFS we see still not reached in Castor trial. And more than 19% patient has CR. So around 20% CR rate is quite significant. So DVD regime is a very good regime, daratumumab, Veldexa, and duration of response is still not achieved right now. So Endeavor, more or less negative trial sort of thing. Panorama, yeah. Pomalidomide, Veldexa. So this is the trial Panorama. As I was discussing my patient Ram Sumir today we have seen. So in that patient also we have used Lendexa. So this is the regime which has given to him option. But problem is thrombocytopenia and neutropenia. We'll see how we will get over that challenges in due course of time. So pomalidomide, Veldexa. So this is also a good combination with overall response rate of 61%, median progression-free survival 12 months with this triple regime. And duration of response is 13 months. So more or less at 1 year, patient can be off, average on 1 year can be of this triple drug regime. Same is elotuzumab and Veldexa. I think this elotuzumab is not available as of now, although trial has shown better response than the Veldexa only. So it was the new trial which was published recent ASCO 2020, and here they have combined Veldexa with the Selenoxor in patients with early relapse. Actually, this Selenoxor is the new molecule, and I'm not going to discuss the mechanism of action of all the drugs. You can go through that in literature textbook. But I am touching the latest trial and outcome because at least we should know what are all options are there. So Veldexa plus minus Selenoxor. Basically, in earlier studies, this Selenoxor was used in the later stage, late relapses. But now this trial has come, which is called Boston. And in this trial, it has shown response in the early setting also, early relapse. And results are remarkably good. 13.9 months with as compared to 9 months with the Veldexa only. So if we give only 2 drugs, patient is going to be there for maybe roughly around 9 to 10 months on that regime, and then he is going to have progression. Therefore, there is a need for adding third drug in early relapse. 30% reduced risk for progression or death with SVD. So this regime we can call it as a SVD. And in maybe in near future it may be new standard of care. So not refractory to lenalidomide. Sometimes patients have not taken lenalidomide. Initially it was not refractory to bortezomib. Here not refractory. Maybe we have started patient on bortezomib and dexamethasone. And lenalidomide he is not tolerating or not affording. Sometimes because of neutropenia we have to drop the lenalidomide. So he may be on bortezomib only. So the patient after bortezomib and has relapse, it is early relapse. So in those scenarios we can give RD. RD means Revlimid is the trade name, original trade name for lenalidomide. So Revlimid, dexamethasone based triplet therapy for early relapse. So what are we going to add third drug with the RD? So all these trials are there in your front in this thing slide. One trial was Tourmaline MM1. In this trial they have added ixazomib. This is oral therapy, oral PIs which may come into the market in future, and with 1 to 3 prior lines of therapy. So RD plus minus ixazomib is the Tourmaline trial. So if we combine elotuzumab with RD, Eloquent 2. Eloquent was the previous, I have discussed in previous slide. Eloquent was for bortezomib refractory patient. Eloquent 2 was for that was lenalidomide refractory, and this is bortezomib refractory patient. So Aspire study is in this they have combined the carfilzomib. Pollux they have combined the daratumumab. So these are the 4 landmark trial for this clinical subset where we have earlier used bortezomib. Tourmaline, Eloquent 2, Aspire, Pollux. So oral response rate 72% and with RD only. If we combine ixazomib, it is 78%. ERD 79%, KRD 87%, daratumumab 92%. So huge difference, and this drug is supposed to be the best in terms of oral response rate, CR rate, all the oral response rate. So daratumumab along with lenalidomide and dexamethasone. This is the best in terms of everything. As we can see, oral response 92%, VGPR 80%, median progression-free survival C. If we combine other 3 drugs, we are reaching up to only 20 months. We are reaching only up to 20 months. Triple drug, any other drug apart from Lendexa. And if we combine daratumumab with Lendexa, it is 44 months PFS. So roughly around 4 years, almost double the response of other triple drug we have with this triple regime. So median overall survival again still not reached on Pollux trial. Yeah. At a different time point, we should search for the update of these trials also, because sometimes they release the update of these like at 2 year, at 3 year, at 4 year. So there are some updates also at frequent interval. Third scenario, our patient, if he is refractory to both, suppose we have given VRD regime. VRD means Velcade, lenalidomide and dexamethasone at one go, these triple drug at the upfront level. So if patient is refractory to both these two drugs, then there is other option pomalidomide, obviously, because this is simple, very good drug, tablet form, capsule form, and salvage regime for relapse refractory. Maybe in third line we have to use this one, because first line we have used bortezomib, second line lenalidomide, then third line comes the pomalidomide. So PomDexa phase 3 trial, Optimism phase 3 trial is phase 3 trial bortezomib with PomDexa, which is very commonly used, because here they have taken prior PI patients were also taken into account, like the patients who have progressed on bortezomib. Still they are saying that we can reuse the bortezomib if there is some interval time gap of using bortezomib. So therefore Optimism is the one trial combining all three common drugs. And here also they are showing the good overall response rate, 82% as compared to 50% with Lendexa only, with PomDexa. Here in this other arm is definitely PomDexa, and experimental arm is bortezomib PomDexa, 82%. So median progression-free survival again 11%, median OS not reached. Here overall survival is low. I think it is not the early relapse. All these patients which I am going to discuss in this slide, they are supposed to be the late relapse. Therefore, they are labeled as a relapse and refractory, double R and R. So another trial is daratumumab with PomDexa. Again, huge response, 17.5 months median overall survival, even in the fourth, fifth line, sixth line. Elotuzumab. So these are all new trial which are coming up in late relapse. Late relapse means relapse and refractory setting. So this was the trial which I was discussing. Published in Lancet Oncology 2019, Richardson et al. Pomalidomide, bortezomib and Dexa for patients with relapsed refractory multiple myeloma, and previous lenalidomide was allowed. In fact, if you see, previous PI was also allowed, previous lenalidomide was also allowed, and still they have used pomalidomide and bortezomib and dexamethasone. And this triplet has shown good difference between the two drugs. There was a phase 1 study in which they have combined the carfilzomib also in place of bortezomib. And they have shown the overall response rate of 16%, including 5 VGPR and 11 partial response, and 3 had progressive disease. So not very impressive combination. There was some phase 2 data of daratumumab, pomalidomide and dexamethasone. Obviously here must be the very good response, 59 to 80%. There are definitely some CR response also. We can see that 4% CR rate is also seen with the daratumumab combination. Phase 2 trial of daratumumab and pomalidomide combination relapse survival. We can see with daratumumab, median OS is 8.8 months, OS is 17.5 months in relapse refractory setting, which is very good. When we have exhausted all the options, so at that point, median OS of 17 months is really remarkable. So another phase 3 trial, ICARIA MM. ICARIA MM, I don't know how to remember this. ICARIA, isatuximab plus PomDexa versus PomDexa. Yeah, PomDexa was a control arm and experimental was this isatuximab. Although this is also a PI, oral PI. And this has shown also good 11.5 months of PFS, almost double the PFS of PomDexa. And there are some CR rate of 5% 5%. So this is also good drug, oral PI, vis-a-vis with the daratumumab. So both are taken as a very good response rate in refractory setting. So elotuzumab, here also PFS difference is there, OS is good in this ELOQUENT 3 trial. So this was ELOQUENT 3. You know, ELOQUENT 1, ELOQUENT 2, ELOQUENT 3, refractory setting. Now we are going to discuss this new trial, that is CANDOR trial, which was published in ASH 19, and patient will relapse refractory with 1 to 3 prior therapies failure with more than partial response to at least one of the prior therapy. ECOG performance status good, LVF more than at least 40%. So 2:1 randomization. CANDOR means they have taken the daratumumab, carfilzomib, and dexamethasone. So they have changed both drug. Although, yeah, this is a carfilzomib is a new PI, proteasome inhibitor, in the dose of 56 mg per meter square in 2 days weekly, and second week onward we give 20 mg per meter square on day 1 and day 2, means 40 mg daily, 40 mg total dose. So initial dose is higher loading, and then twice weekly means day 1 and day 2, divided into day 1 and day 2. Daratumumab 16 mg per kilogram is the dose. So this is the difference here, that daratumumab is as per the kilogram, and again split into 2 days, 8 mg per day. I think this is some peculiar schedule. Dose schedule is there. For initial 2 months is this same schedule. As I said, every week for 2 days. Then 4 months is different, monthly. Then after that is for 6 months or so. So this is a step ladder sort of dose schedule of 16 mg per kilogram of daratumumab. So dose schedule is same everywhere, irrespective of the line of treatment. Second line, third line, or fourth line. So carfilzomib dexa was a control arm, and this was the experimental arm. And MRD sample was drawn at month 12, 24, 32 months. MRD means minimal residual disease, which is done on the flow cytometry on the bone marrow sample. So this was the outcome. DARA-KD means DARA-KD versus KD for relapse refractory. PFS is high, obviously, and OS is also very high, in the sense it's still not reached, and median follow-up is 17 months, and it's still not reached. So DARA-KD has got very good outcome. Among the overall regimes, this is the best regime should be taken. And of late, 3-year update. 3-year update means 36 months update has been published of late. I would ask resident to go through that 3-year update of the CANDOR trial. So it means the patient are going even 3 years with this regime of DARA-KD. So if you see the responses, overall response rate is very high with the KDD, which is DARA-KD, and VGFR is high, CR is also high. So these are the minimal residual disease. MRD at 12 months. So new trial, IKEMIA, which we have discussed in the table form. So response are high. CR rate is also high, 40%. Sorry, yeah. With the ISA combination, isatuximab with KD. Now, 4th and 5th setting, and I think this is the last setting. Patients are refractory to Lendexa, Bordexa, and even daratumumab. Then what? We are left with what? Then I think there are 2-3 drugs which are available. As per the recent literature, Selnoxor, Penabilistat, and maybe DTPS. So there are 3-4 regimes which we can go for that after 3-4. So in this trial, STORM trial phase 2b study, where already patients have gone for 7 prior lines of therapy, but out of those 7 trials, lenalidomide, pomalidomide, bortezomib, carfilzomib, daratumumab, glucocorticoid, and alkylating agent. Alkylating agent means we have used melphalan or even cyclophosphamide also. So these are 7 prior lines of therapy patient has been already exposed, and then we go for selinexor plus dexamethasone, triple class refractory multiple myeloma patient. So this is the a new term which we can say, what is that? Triple class. Triple class means LAN is one class, PI is second class, DARA is third class. So triple class refractory multiple myeloma, our response rate is high, 26%. Still 2% has CR rate, CR. And good PFS, good, not good, so good PFS, 3.7 months is the PFS level. Another is still they combine carfilzomib in this, not very impressive combination and not very good result also. New drug is penobinostat. If we combine with carfilzomib, KD, kyprolis dexa, and here also we can get some result, but it is too early to say because it's still under initial phase. Response they have shown slightly better than the single agent. Another regime which I was saying, VDT PACE. So this is the chemotherapy combination. So first slide on chemotherapy. Ultimately at the end we have to switch over to chemotherapy, in which we do get some response. If patient is not affording to daratumumab, even then we have to switch to chemotherapy combinations. Salvage high dose chemotherapy, this is a DTPase, sorry, not DTPase, salvage high dose chemotherapy means melphalan and all these drugs, cyclophosphamide. So some response can be seen with high dose chemotherapy, which we give before transplant. High dose melphalan, so that is different dose. IV is given. Usually melphalan regime which we give in VMP, that is oral melphalan, and very low dose 8 mg per meter square in a month or so, in a week, sorry. Risk criteria, duration of initial response, primary refractoriness, acquisition, new abnormality, amplification of 1q, del 17p. Therefore, I was saying that any patient has progression, we can go for bone marrow aspiration, biopsy, repeat, and cytogenetics also should be repeated. The revised ISS staging should be done at relapse level also. PS should be noted, or presence of AMD. AMD means extramedullary disease, whether patient has soft tissue deposit anywhere else or organ involvement. So if they had got this one, so bad prognosis. Circulating plasma cell also one of the marker, although this is a experimental setting. So what should we do for high risk? Obviously triplet drug, multi-drug combination, use drug class that patient has not been exposed to, treat to the maximum response, maintain with 1 or 2 drug. With no DEXA maintenance, obviously we don't use dexamethasone, and MRD negativity leads to better outcome. Certain drug class may be more relevant after going through all the literatures. So this is very good slide where they have shown the doses level, how we can reduce the doses of each and everything. Lenalidomide standard dose 25 mg, but next 15 and then third level is 10. Pomalidomide 4, then 3, then 2. This is a reduction. Thalidomide 100, 50, and then 50. BOT reduction is also there. Carfilzomib reduction is also there. So there is a dose reduction. For dexamethasone reduction is also there definitely. From 40 to 20 or 10 also. So although there is no recommended dose reduction with daratumumab or elotuzumab, this we should keep in mind. No reduction is required for daratumumab. So impact of toxicity, definitely we should keep in mind. Side effect profile, avoid bortezomib, can consider carfilzomib because very minimal neuropathy seen with these two drugs. Cardiac failure patient, we should avoid carfilzomib and anthracycline. Renal insufficiency, we should avoid lenalidomide, or dose adjustment should be there. Skin reaction with IMiDs, if severe skin reaction, avoid this class. So I have only one patient as of now who had severe skin reaction with the lenalidomide, and we have to stop that. So all oral regimen allow less frequent clinical visits. However, compliance needs to be monitored. IV infusion require clinical visits. IV versus subcutaneous also should be considered. Like bortezomib has shown equivalent result with IV and subcutaneous. So nowadays subcutaneous is preferred one because low peripheral neuropathy and less myelotoxicity. Combination with less hematological toxicity will allow for less frequent testing and clinical visits. I think now I can conclude that therapeutic advances have led to prolonged survival in myeloma patient, but it remains still a chronic disease. Treatment of myeloma requires a long-term strategy. So key is delivering the best package of treatment at a given stage. Optimal combination sequencing is key. This stratified approach in a clinic, and future will be in developing more individual approaches. So sometimes patients are very challenging, although believe me, myeloma treatment is very interesting. So very, very methodologic approach and sort of mathematics type. So very interesting patients in myeloma in different variety are seen. Thank you. So this was just a brief on the relapse refractory setting, so that we all get to aware with the new advancement. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. If any delegates having any question can ask, please. I think, sir, no questions are there. Hello?
No question. Great.
Yes, sir.
So everything is great, right?
Yes, sir. I would like to thank you, Dr. Danny, once again, and thanks all delegates for attending the program. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.